So the latest chapter of Chainsaw Man confirms that Asa is Kobani Mark II, having possible even worse luck and always dragging people down with her no matter what she's doing. But rather than just retelling you what you've already read like this was some sort of catch-up, let's focus on the most important parts, shall we? First things first, Yoru Owo, despite being inside of Asa's body, and despite literally sharing a chunk of her brain, is unable to either recognize certain intent from Asa or is unable to access certain memories from her. As during the chapter Yoru claims that Asa wasn't sorry for killing Bucky but rather was only sorry she got caught doing so. Now if Yoru could actually determine everything about Asa, then she'd know that there is no way that she was that heartless or selfish, even after declaring to herself she should live more selfishly. This could also just be Yoru attempting to either corrupt Asa into taking a life, or be Yoru making use of the situation to just give both Yoru and Asa the best chance at surviving the Bat Devil. Now let's look at the next important factor to come up in the chapter, Asa being the Kobani Mark II, always tripping at the worst times. We are shown how on multiple occasions this unfortunately happens, but the one I'd like to focus on is the one where Asa is running alongside her mother, trying to get away from the destruction brought on by a rampaging devil. Asa attempting to save the life of an injured limping cat, only to fall over and resulting in her mother getting struck by a car flung around by the devil. Did you all catch what devil was causing that destruction? I certainly did, the Typhoon Devil. This most likely was the same incident where Ise was going after Denji, and brought along with her, the Typhoon Devil as backup. First off, marvelous way to tie the second half of the story back into the first half. Second of all, this singular memory helps to contextualize both Asa's hate of devils and her dislike of Chainsaw Man. It was a devil's actions that got her mom killed, although she probably carries with her a large level of grief about indirectly causing her death, but also Typhoon wouldn't have been there if not for Chainsaw Man, so Asa conflating her mother's death with Chainsaw Man isn't too much of a stretch, especially when it seems no one in this world has heard of therapy. But all the same, the idea that Asa is directly opposed to Chainsaw Man, because of a certain incident involving him, if not by his choice, makes the story so much better in my own option. Meaning Asa both has a reason to dislike devils, but especially putting the pressure on Chainsaw Man, and I honestly don't think what happened in this chapter is going to make much of a difference. In fact, I think it might make it worse. But I'll get to that when I get to that. So moving on, next is the fact that we learn Yuko is just too pure for this world. She's someone who believes that as long as her heart is in the right place, if she makes a mistake then it's fine. But I have to put my foot down here. Nope, no way this is Chainsaw Man. That sort of ideology is a one-way ticket to the afterlife and not comfortable in your sleep, but either so quick you can't react or screaming in agony. In Chainsaw Man, those who can't be selfish don't last long, and those who believe that mistakes don't matter, last even less time. And with Asa declaring she wants to do the same, we are shown just what kind of fate awaits them down such a path. They are devoured by the Bat Devil. I like to think of this as a sort of display of what could happen, something to help temper Asa's growing sense of morality and certainty in her own motivations, because if she is able to shore up her determination for such a way of life, then this second half of the story could end up being rather short indeed. But anyway, they are freed because our title character arrives. Denji the Chainsaw Man doesn't come running in to save them, which honestly I would have disliked given how overdone that sort of thing is, but instead we have him already engaged in a fight, just saving them by happenstance. Now this does two things: it helps to keep Asa's dislike of Chainsaw Man intact, as while he did indirectly save her and Yuko's lives, but he did it by happenchance, rather than any sort of grand heroics, and in fact his fight with the giant devil could be seen from her perspective as him just causing more disasters like the one that caused her mother's death. Next most important thing, Denji is back obviously. And he seems to have grown, both physically and mentally, from the short interactions we got from him in this chapter. First off, choosing to neither save the young man who was falling or the car full of the elderly, instead focusing on killing the giant insectoid, cockroach devil. Which on a side note, from the size and destructive force of this devil, I've got to assume that people in Chainsaw Man's world are more afraid of cockroaches than they are of typhoons, as while Typhoon has a wide-ranging potential destruction capabilities, he didn't seem to have the raw strength of this abomination against God. Or this could be our first case of seeing what the difference between quantity of fear and quality of fear for devils. For instance, many people could be afraid of cockroaches, but fewer people have a tremendous fear of typhoons, thus they even out, to an almost simple destructive capacity. Mind you, we didn't get to see as much of what this new devil could do before its death. But back on track, while Denji only went after the cockroach devil, because there was a cat hanging from a building, the fact that Denji wasn't stuck having a moral dilemma for a good solid 10 seconds, to me shows grown mentally. I won't say that it shows that he's as moral or upstanding of a guy as he was before, but it does show that at least he can prioritize his own beliefs and can live selfishly, something that Asa might actually learn from him. But also, it's nice to see Denji still getting along great with animals, since we know at the end of part 1 he was left with Makima's dog and Power's cat. Seeing him going out of his way to save an innocent animal, rather than people, just proves that he continues to be someone who is broken inside and hasn't yet formed those important emotional connections as of right now. No one thing is tying him to his humanity, keeping him grounded like Aki did, making sure he took care not to get the civilians killed with his actions, or at least limiting the damage. But also, did you all notice it? I sure hope so, since it was a big plot point at the end of the last arc. Actually, just pause the video here and tell me what you think I'm going on about in the comments below. I'm interested to see what you come up with. So are you done? I'll give you to the count of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I assume you all have your comments down. The answer is, Chainsaw Man, or rather Denji, despite his world renowned, despite his weakening due to the lessening fear of Chainsaw Man, despite being regarded as a hero and having his name plastered everywhere, he appears stronger than ever, cutting through giant monsters with ease, when before he'd rely on others like Beam to help dealing with them. Now he's doing it without them and without issue. Again, he still managed to pull off some pretty impressive stuff at the end of the last arc under those conditions. However, he should have become even weaker since then, not stronger. So what is going on here? Personally, I'd like to assume this is Denji using his head rather than his brawn, since that's what allowed him to beat Makima. Allow me to explain. Denji might be becoming weaker overall, but he's figuring out ways to optimize his damage output, making it so he can deliver the maximum amount of damage without wasting blood like he was known to do previously. Or it could just be this is the base power and Pochito is just a stronger devil by definition and doesn't need to worry about the input of human fear, but that I have no evidence for and plenty of evidence for the former. Where this will go next chapter, depends on if we're going to continue to observe Denji or if we'll shift back to Asa. One way or another, this is going to have interesting after effects for both of them. Yoru is going to have to deal with the fact that she's merged with an individual who is willing, at least currently, to risk her and Yoru's life to try and do the right thing, at least by Asa's standards. Asa is going to have to deal with and potentially internalize the idea of Chainsaw Man saving her, even by accident, and maybe we'll get to see Denji spend some time with Nayuta. That would be nice. But anyway, I've been the Anonymous Weeb, and recently I've been asked about making a Discord server in the comments, a place where like-minded individuals can discuss the latest chapters of Chainsaw Man, talk about theories and the like, maybe even place fan art if you're interested. I was thinking about maybe doing it to celebrate 1000 subscribers, so let me know what you think in the comments below, and I wish you a good day or night wherever you may be. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.